Good Friday evening, peoples. Let's jump in here and see what we got. I wanted to update you guys because it's good news, and they did roll the Coney profit into a much higher um, strike price on the synthetic, even though it was an 815 roll from 250 to 300. That gives us the cash for them to be able to pay out because this is Friday and this is the period that counts. At least that's what they've been saying. Okay, so let's jump in here and see what it all looks like. Well, it was a crazy Friday for Coney, right? Continued up. We certainly took some losses on the weeklies. Insurance helped some, but oh boy, did we get a nice profit on the synthetics. So let me walk you through. But before, remember, you always, in an up move, a big up move, the synthetic always captures all of that. The problem gets to be the calls that you're writing. We refer to them as weekly. Used to be naked calls, and the idea was you collect that premium, and when you run by them, you get killed. And then they put the spread in to say, well, if I've got a $10 gap in the strikes, then after that $10, when it runs by them, I start collecting money. But I still have that gap that I lose on. It just depends on how far it runs. Regardless, I lose in that gap, um, even when it catches up to the spreads. So you never get 100% of the upside. That's what I'm always saying. You're going to roughly capture 35 to 55, maybe 60, and big up moves. So, but the positive is there's cash, and that's what I'm going to get into. Now, I'll give you close to the estimate, but I'm still going to save this weekend to give you my final estimate in my estimate video on Sunday morning. So, I'm not doing Pulte right now. Nothing much happened in Pulte, so I'm going to do that tomorrow on Saturday. But I wanted to get this Coney to you so you know what happened. You know whether you're going to get a good payment or not. I'm just not going to disclose my exact amount. All right. So what did Coin and Coney do? Well, they made it up 4.43% from 295 to 308. So again, Coney's just fulfilling this continued momentum is all about the Genius Act that the Senate passed and the House needs to pass, stable coin oriented so that they can back the US dollar or gold or something with the stable coin. And how does that benefit Coinbase? Well, in a gold rush, the general store sells shovels and picks and everything. Well, in a crypto stable coin rush, Coinbase is one of the big players. So it's as simple as that, people. It should get the transactions and the revenue and all of that. That's why Coinbase is flying. It's just another sense that the government is blessing this. We've still got a ways to go, with the BTC banks. One of my subscribers suggested I do something on BTC banks. It's still out there a little bit, but hit me up in the comments on things you want to see. Also, as I finish up on this Coney, I'll be adding Misty and GDXY to my daily coverage. Hit me up if you have another one. I probably can do 5 or 6. Um, Maybe 7 or 8, maybe 9 or 10. We shall see. Okay. But hit me up with your favorite. Somebody mentioned Carvani, um, Carvana, but the YIELDMAX is Carvani. So hit me up and I'll consider them and then I'll comment back. But clearly, I'm going to add Misty and GDXY. I've been capturing all the data and all that. I just haven't presented it. And I got everything dialed in now. All right. So on this 4.43 gain, um, Coney gained 3.10. What is that? Well, that rounds to 70%, people. So on a reasonable up day, this isn't a massive up day, but if this did this 5 days in a row, you'd have a hard time capturing all of that move at 70%. But nonetheless, it did for this given day. All right. So I imagine I didn't double check this IV that's like 3 days old, but based on what Coney's doing, this 30-day IV should really be shooting up. You know what I think I'm gonna do is go take a look for you guys on another screen here on my second screen and just see it. I can see it fairly quickly. Uh, okay. All right. It now is 62.4. How about that? I knew it would be up. And the 52-week average is 71.6. The 52-week high is 98.1. And the 52-week low is 49.9. All right. I thought you guys might appreciate that. Obviously, we're going to declare next Wednesday and then pay on the Friday. I was a little mistaken on some of these. I was expecting payment on Pulte, and then I had to go double check, and this, I guess maybe the holiday messed it up and they're going to pay on Monday. I was looking at Pulte and GDXY. So those, if you were wondering yourself, you get so used to Fridays on these monthlies. It happens sometimes. All right. The other thing in Coney, this is a positive for our payment that the share count went down. Remember yesterday we went up 2.8 million on the big move up, and then there were 2.3 million shares sold, right? So this new number, I think I might have closed the file. Yeah, but it's down to like 148 something. So you'll notice when I show you some other data what I'm talking about. Yeah. We're at 148. I should just put it in here. 148,525. I know what happened. When I started this program, it wipes out the last thing I entered. Okay. That is the data, peoples. Okay. Let's walk through a little more. So we stand with a paper advantage in the current synthetics. This is what closed. Okay. They sold it in pieces, so I can't put a single price in here, right? They sold around 30,000, 1,000, and then another, you know, 5,000. So they got there, and I didn't want to bother to list all those. I just wanted to say we netted 239 on cost and all of that. So that was excellent. Now, what's outstanding, again, this doesn't affect the amount of money we collected. I'm going to show you that total on my payments tab. But here's our current situation. And these are our insurance. These are the calls sold minus 44,000 up here in the dark green. We only wrote insurance on half, and that's probably advisable. I mean, here we are trading at 308. Yeah, we got a full week, but how far is coin going to run based on the fact that it's already run quite a bit? I mean, who knows? But I think this is reasonable. Um, it's 10% out of the money at 5% out of the money on the insurance. So those can jump up and get caught. Now, on our calls, we're -2 and -1. We're already in the money on these guys, right? And we're sitting on an ugly loss. Again, it wouldn't be quite that bad considering we're at 308. This would only be $8 if we end up at 308. It would have to be on 316 next Friday on the 27th. So we shall see. But again, that's all collecting for the future. We wanted to know what's our cash position at the close. So let's take a look at that, peoples. This is the secret sauce. So I made a note here, and it's kind of like pivot data from other places. Um, and so I have all of the trades, I have all of the active, and then there's still open trades. And I just go over here and I sum it up from the point further back, right? Start of June piggy bank and then end of June piggy bank, and there's our number there. So when we look here, we now have that wonderful synthetics. What was that per share based on the current share count? 161. So we have a profit that we booked on the synthetics, net profit of 161 a share. Okay. We have a 36-cent loss on our weeklies throughout that entire period from starting on 523 through 620. So that says we have a total per share this month in income of $1.25. Now, what are they going to pay us? Yeah, stay tuned for my video this weekend. Okay. And please note that I'm still going to do Pulte. I just prioritize who and what I want to report on because I think this is important. I want to feel good, especially after sort of the Pulte situation. A lot of us were disappointed. Okay. So, and I was a little worried that they may not roll it, but they did roll it. So maybe they're listening to us after all. Okay, guys, that's what I got for you. And look forward to Group C. Yeah, I should put that note in here because that affects the dates. Each of these groups, right, have a different period. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go again. This is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Have a great weekend ahead, peeps. All right, bye for now.